Yo, I'm Cousin Condry, and you're listening to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
For those who don't know, now you know, baby. This is Hot Rod Biggs, Jared, Jimmy Street. We're going to take them to the limit one more time, baby, right here on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one more time to the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast. This is Jimmy Street, your host, with my co-host, my brother from the very same mother, the Plastic Sheik, Jared. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you doing tonight?
Man, I'm hanging in there. We had a long day today. I've kind of tried to accomplish a few things here, trying to help somebody get set up with some advertising for the podcasts and trying to, do some other fun stuff like that. So kind of, busy day. I know you worked all day too. So, no sympathy for me, right?
No sympathy. Yeah, that's right. Like the Joker came out to in the AEW, no sympathy for the devil, or that's actually sympathy for the devil, though.
Yeah, we'll do the opposite of that then. So, it's you and I here. We've got an interview coming up with a buddy of mine, Cousin Condry. I actually managed this kid when he was 14 years old. Can you believe anybody?
That's crazy that somebody could be in the business, potentially if he has a very long career, man, he could be in the business for 40 plus years easily with some in-ring stuff. So that's awesome. I'm excited to hear your interview with Cousin Condry. It's I hate I can't be a part of it, but it is what it is. The timing wasn't right. And, we got to take advantage of interviews when we can get them done, whether we could both be here or not. So I'm excited to hear what Cousin Condry's got to say and what's upcoming for him. And, we want to keep our eye out for him. We never know where we might see him.
Yeah, absolutely. Big things are happening for Trenton soon. He's a second-generation wrestler. His dad, the Outlaw Lee Condry, I did some work with him out in Nashville. I don't know if anybody remembers from the third episode, Jeremiah Plunkett, he and I were talking about how we co-booked a show for a little bit. Well, Lee was on that show, and Lee kind of helped me before Plunky did. And anyway, long story short, we go way back. I don't even think I knew that he was 14 when I managed him. He was a bigger kid, so it wasn't like, I probably did, but my first encounter with him was with a 10-year-old when he had a baseball bat in his hand and he walked out with his dad, little mean ass kid looking like he's going to kneecap me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Trenton's a cool kid. Cousin Condry, he's got this crazy character, and it's kind of like a blend of Mankind, Abyss, and like a slasher horror movie, like Jason or Michael Myers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And
that's
he's
cool.
He's got a mask. It's a burlap mask. It kind of looks like Scarecrow from the Batman franchise, but he's actually working to make that a permanent mask rather than taking it off. And he actually is working at the School of Morton as we speak in a beautiful downtown
Chucky, Tennessee.
I got that school in Chucky, Tennessee, School of Morton. Anyway.
We love Ricky Morton, so we can say it like that.
Yes, we do love Ricky Morton. We are a Ricky Morton pro family, so for sure. But yeah, my next little story I want to bring up is obviously most recently at the beginning of September, Wolfie and I were at the RobCon, which is, the local convention in the Tri-Cities area. This year it was held at the Virginia Highlands Higher Education Center.
Right.
And Jake the Snake Roberts was there. Amanda Bierce was there. And, the Give Me Back My Podcast Network brought in all of its hosts that could make it and brought in the Wolfie D podcast, the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast with Wolfie D. So we got to come in and we got to hang out, and I went up there on Saturday. I literally drove to our mom and dad's house in Southwest Virginia and took 3 hours. I got there about 10 p.m. the night before. Then The next morning I got up at 7:30, which if you know me, that's not common.
We're not morning people like our father.
No. Our dad, I don't know if dad actually sleeps. He might take a nap, but
yeah,
he goes fishing at 4:30 whenever he goes fishing. And some people are finishing fishing at 4:30,
Yeah.
But anyway, so RobCon, it was this convention. Have you ever been to a RobCon before, Judd?
I haven't, and it's a shame. I'm so close to them, and I've never been to them.
Yeah.
This year, I just had so much going on when it was going on. I really wanted to go and see Jake and Butterbean and some of the comic artists and everything like that, but it just didn't happen. I had to help a friend move, and he had just helped me move the year before, so I really couldn't. It's one of those things you can't say no to.
Yeah, man, I hate moving. Jeez.
Oh yeah, it's rough, but
yeah,
got to do what you got to do.
Right. I've done it so much. I just hate it. But anyway, RobCon was a lot of fun, man. So, Wolfie and I, we get to hang out. We hadn't hung out in like 10 years because, we hadn't seen each other. And when we started the podcast, we don't do the podcast in the same room like a lot of podcasts are done.
Right.
Same way we do this. So we get there, we hang out, we're having fun, seeing a lot of crazy cosplay. Saw our cousin Clayton, saw our cousin Ben in his Catch the Fart costume. What is that called again?
Darth
Revan. Yeah, it's a cool costume. Not to knock it. It's really seems really enclosed and hot. But, anyway, saw them and saw Charlie, our cousin Charlie, saw Tristan and Nate from the Give Me Back My Podcast Network. And so what was funny is there was a panel there, and you're going to dig this. There is a point to this story, I promise. There was a panel there, and it was called Podcasting 101 or whatever. And it was basically telling people if they were interested in starting a podcast, what they needed to do. Well, initially, Wolfie was set up to do it. And when asked about it, he said, well, I would just ask Jimmy what to do. Because he's like, you get trained, you become a wrestler, you wrestle for 30 years, and then a guy will call you, and that's how you start a podcast. No, but anyway, it just made sense. He was still at his table selling stuff to people, so it just made sense that I go in the panel. And so Tristan from the Monster Movie Stomp Down went, Nate from Give Me Back My Horror Movies and Action Movies, and we all go in there and we're talking, and people are asking us like what to do and how do you get a start. And first, you think of an idea and all this stuff. And so we just kind of ask them, like, there were people in there. We asked them, we say, hey, well, you have to have an idea. You want to have like a pretty singular idea to where you can be like, okay, I want to talk about wrestling, or I want to talk about old school wrestling, or I want to talk about whatever. And he said, well, I have three things. I really like celebrity graveyards or grave sites.
Wow.
I think those are cool. And I really like, let's just say sci-fi. I can't remember the other one he said. And then I like action figures. And I said, okay, cool. And then another girl asked us the name of their podcast or our podcast. And Tristan said his, Nate said his. And I said, mine is Live and in Colors, Wolfie D, and Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. And then the same guy that liked the grave sites and graveyards or whatever, he says, oh man, I just listened to your episode with Steve Rosenthal.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I was like, yeah, man, right? That was cool, dude. Because, I know a lot of our listeners either through social media or just being, friends with them and stuff. But at the same time, our numbers are good enough that I know to myself that I don't know every one of you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So to know that I saw one of the people that's been a listener or listening to us, and I don't know if you'd listened to any of the other episodes, but what brought him to the dance is exactly what I wanted with the Steve Rosenthal episode, is that it would bring people that haven't heard us to hear it. And, the cool thing is that, Steve was so cool in that interview, man, Oh, he was super cool, and he was super, super giving. I mean, I think he kind of said 30 minutes, and I think we went closer to an hour. I mean, yeah, I didn't have to pare it down much at all. It was pretty much our conversation as it was. So yeah. Yeah,
he was so giving, and he was so generous with all the questions we asked, and
Yeah, and by the way, that show is now, I think, our number 3 episode. I'm pretty sure. I have to look at it was forever. It was the Body Slam episode, and then it went to now it's Tracy Greatest Music, Mike Jablonski Body Slam, and then I think it's the Factions episode, and then I think it's Steve Rosenthal. Well, now I think Steve Rosenthal has eclipsed even Body Slam. So
is Steve coming for that strap?
I mean, he should be or could be. We'll have to see if maybe that strap's still around anymore or not.
Yeah,
Tracy may kept that one in his back pocket. So, long story short, on the Steve episode, Steve gave us some great information and some great stories, but he also gave us some great opportunities that we're going to be taking advantage of very soon. And to be honest, the very next episode you'll hear, hopefully, God willing, we'll have Magnum TA as our guest on the show. So
keeping my fingers crossed that everything goes according to plan with that. That's big time, guys. I mean, I know it's huge. I'm used to getting that kind of thing with Wolfie D. Like, I didn't get to say this, but Jake the Snake is now on this week's episode. So, obviously listen to Cousin Condry, the conversation we have with him. Then after that, go listen to the Live and in Color with Wolfie D Jake episode, because Jake is so cool, man. But Magnum TA, dude, I'm serious. We've had some great guests, some buddies of mine in the pro wrestling scene that are great wrestlers, but man, we're talking Magnum TA here, right? I mean, Magnum TA, just saying too, he could be the future conversation of a what if episode for us too.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
I mean,
wink, wink.
Yeah. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
Yeah. So definitely be looking out for that episode with him, and definitely be looking out for that what if too, because those are all coming in the future very soon. So, with that being said, I don't want to jinx too much about him, but do you have anything else you'd like to say before we talk to Cousin Condry?
No, I mean, I think we've covered a lot. I mean, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan though.
It is, man. It is. And I'm always like looking at it and thinking, man, is this going to peak soon? Is this going to pop soon? But it's really still, it's really still, it hasn't popped yet. Let's just say that, so, but I guess with that being said, why don't you go get a decent taco somewhere, and I'm going to talk to Cousin Condry.
I'm sure I can find one somewhere.
All right, sounds good. We'll be right back with Cousin Condry, and the Sheik will be back in a little bit to talk action figures on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here's my 30-second story with Guinness. As soon as my sister and I get home for the holidays, we don't even unpack. We head straight to our pub. The bartender already knows our order, Guinness and fries. We laugh all night, catch up with old friends, and walk home with faces sore from smiling. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. That was my 30-second story with Guinness.
Guinness Draft Stout. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by Diageo Beer Company, USA, New York, New York.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So our orders get all backed up. We're drowning in paperwork. Then actually drowning. Carol is fighting off sharks with a stapler, and pirates are pillaging the office copier, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant goes beyond the resume, using unique insights to deliver a smarter shortlist. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
The McDonald's Snack Wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch Snack Wrap. Spicy Snack Wrap. You broke the internet. For a snack. Snack Wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Are you a pro wrestling fan? Well, stop by Captain's Corner, where you can get autographed photos, cards, magazines, and figures from all of your favorite wrestling superstars of the past, present, and future. You'll also be able to participate in live signings in the weeks and months to come. Make sure to stop by Captain's Corner on Facebook and give us a holler. Remember, cheers to the working man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. And today I have with me one of, I think, the brightest up-and-coming stars in the Middle Tennessee area. Now, I've known this kid since he was 10 years old. If you hear me call him Trenton, that's because that's his name, but we know him as Cousin Condry. Cousin Condry, welcome to the show, brother.
Oh, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been on my list to have you on from the start. Honestly, you know, you're a young, hardworking, very talented dude in the business, and I think you got a very bright future. I can't wait to see where it goes. To kind of start things off, I kind of like to talk about how I met you. So basically, Aaron Camaro, which a lot of people have heard about that guy on the podcast, Aaron Camaro kind of brought me into the local business in Nashville. And I mean that by essentially he got me my first booking. So Aaron was trying to get the book at HWA, and that was out in Laverne, right?
Laverne, and then I think maybe Smyrna, then Laverne or second.
Okay, gotcha. Well, this was like a red building out in the middle of, I want to say it was Laverne, but I could be wrong. But long story short, HWA had a reputation. It was kind of like the Outlaws outlaw. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
rough. I mean, it was a mud show. That's one way to put it. You know, it was good at first.
Yeah.
It tapered off real hard.
Yeah. Well, so, okay, with HWA, Aaron was trying to get a job out there as a booker, or he wanted the book there. And I'm not sure, can't remember who had the book. It was probably somebody that was deeply ingrained in the place and wasn't going to get, moved out so easily. So Aaron came up with this idea that he was going to bring a TV executive with him and a camera crew to basically make himself look very important, okay? And so he calls me up and he's like, hey, I want you to play this character. His name's the Boss, and that's all we're going to call you. And you are going to pretend like you are an exec for CW. So hopefully I can show HWA that I can bring syndication to their show. Yeah. So I go out there. I got my suit on. You'll see that suit much later when I'm playing Omar Alcazan. And we go out there and literally we work the boys. And I don't know if everybody was worked. I wasn't smart enough to know if everybody was worked. But I know a few guys that were 100% talking to me on the side. He's like, I don't really work here. I work here, son. And I don't remember their names. But long story short, we go out for a match. And I remember it was your dad and his tag team partner, GQ. Is that correct?
Yep.
And we go out there and with your dad, I think it was maybe your sister and you.
Yeah, she really didn't walk out with him, but she would every once in a while, maybe once a month or maybe 6 months.
Well, no disrespect to your sister. I don't remember her, but you, my friend, left a lasting impression because here's this little badass kid walking around the ring with a full-on baseball bat, and I'm waiting for this kid. And I mean, he just looks tough already, and I'm probably in late 20s, and this kid is looking at me like he's going to break my kneecaps. And honestly, I was like, okay, that's amazing. Well, so later on, I'm working an NWA main event as Omar Alcazan, and your dad comes and works there. And you may have worked there first. It's a little fuzzy, but you may have shown up first, or your dad did. But long story short, you show up, and I'm taking you over as manager. And all I remember is this little kid who was going to kneecap me. Now you were a young man, and you were killing it in the ring, bro. You were like a cannonball. You were like I don't know how to describe it, bro. You were light on your feet, meaning you have good footwork, but you could hang with the big dudes. And I've been blown away ever since of your work, man. So like I said, I didn't want to make this beginning too long, but the story itself was too good not to tell. And I mean, dude, I'm enjoying your work. And so that's kind of our lead into this podcast here.
Well, I greatly appreciate it, man. Yeah, everything that sounds about right. I think it's a lot of people tell me it's the intensity. Just I think a lot of, especially younger people, man, a lot of the older guys, you ain't gotta, they not necessarily were taught that. They just, if you had it, you had it. If you didn't have it, you probably weren't going to make it very long back in the day.
Right.
But that's what I think a lot of like younger people now are missing is that fire and intensity in the ring, constantly having it in between the small stuff, you know. I think that's what's missing today.
Well, dude, you were full of it and every bit that I've known you. But I remember us working on Trinity Lane, and I was like, holy crap, this is the best person I've ever managed. I mean, and I mean that because, you know, I'd managed Dyron Flynn, who I think on the mat was great, but also kind of was missing some things at that time. I managed Seven, who was a complete monster, but honestly never really got the chance to show his full potential. But, you know, and I've managed some great Sean Hoodrich. I've managed some amazing talents. I mean, Dutch Mantell. But at the same time, at that time, you were like a lump of coal, but you had diamond bits showing through at that time. And I mean, brother, like I said, I'm proud of what you're doing now. I'm proud of where you've gone. And do you ever remember me? And it may not have meant a lot to you because I was probably a rookie compared to you. But do you remember me saying to you, man, you're really good. You've got something. Do you ever remember me saying that to you?
Definitely. It was, I'm pretty sure I was maybe in a match with Sean Fatal and you were managing me, maybe. And, I remember after the match, I came back, didn't even make it up the stairs, and you were out of breath from hollering, and I was out of breath because I was 300 pounds, and he looked at me, and he said, man, you got something. You said, I don't know what it is. He said, but you got it.
Yeah, well, hey, and the thing is when I saw you kind of dip out of the business, and brother, you know, whenever somebody like you has been in the business, you know, like Wolfie D, for example, he's been in the business since he was 14, 15 years old. So when he takes a dip out, he can take a dip out for a minute, but then come back. And I love the focus and intensity. I love the Cousin Condry. I love all that. And I mean, there are some people that I've managed before that really impress me that I feel like, okay, in the right scenario, they can make it. Or if they did one thing, they can do it. Now, again, what is make it anymore? Maybe it's just a really good career that you make some money and you support your family. Or maybe it's on AEW or WWE or whatever. But I will say this. I think as far as all of them, out of the most potential that I feel like you could really do this for a full-on true living, I mean, I think you're tops of the list, man. And I mean that because I've seen a lot. And honestly, I feel like you're just a couple steps away, you know. So keep that up, man.
I greatly appreciate it. That's why, or especially here recently, I've been stepping outside my comfort zone, trying to make a whole lot of towns. I've got different states coming up, a lot of big things I can't really get into, but
exciting,
definitely,
man.
I'm really excited. Not nervous about it, but it's a good nervousness, you know, something that I've been waiting on. And that time away, man, it made me miss it, and it made me almost crave wanting to be back in the ring, you know, having that energy surrounding you on a weekend night or a weeknight, just people hollering at you or for you, you know. It's a different type of energy. You can't explain it.
Oh no, and you're gonna be hearing tons of that. I promise you, Trenton. So here's the thing. What I always like to do is I tell a little story and then we bring it all the way back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it all the way back here, and I'm gonna start with this. And this is just a generic question, but I know your pops was a wrestler. He's a longtime veteran of the Middle Tennessee scene. Always got time for Lee Condry. Always appreciated him and his work and just how cool he was to me when he didn't need to be. So long story short on that, though, what got you into wrestling as a fan? And I mean, maybe It's before you even realize your pops was a worker. What got you into wrestling as a fan?
So this is going to be a little weird. So I never, ever watched wrestling as a kid. I was just always around it.
Okay.
Going to shows with my dad, never. So like on Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays, most wrestling comes on those nights. I never sat and watched it because I was always at the shows with him. So all my knowledge from wrestling early on was from the people I'd see live or on the independent. So a lot of the heel stuff, I'd see was real old school. It was just hollering, a lot of character work and whatnot. You didn't have people running, 10, 15 different high spots. I mean, and that stuff gets over now. Wrestling's evolved. You know what I'm saying? There's a time for it and a time not for it. But so I didn't really I always loved it, but what really kind of got me into it, I was probably 13, 14 years old. And I was just in the ring, I guess before a show, and I started moving around, and I got a little bit comfortable with what I was doing. And that's what, it wasn't really watching anything, but it was noticing how, I guess how comfortable I was with my own self inside of the ring, that kind of made me become a bigger fan of wrestling in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I was also like wrestler wise, I was a fan of like Abyss and Mankind and stuff, but like what really pulled me into it was me seeing my ability to do stuff.
Yeah, no. And I mean, is that, I guess the question I was about to ask, do you feel like that you almost took it in by osmosis at first? I mean, you had been around it. When did you start going to matches with your dad?
Probably when I was 2.
Okay.
2 I've been around the business pretty much my entire life. As long as I could, able to hold my head up, I've been watching it live, or at least some form.
Yeah. So I knew this question was going to be a little different. So, obviously you said you were fans of Abyss and Mankind. I can see certain elements of that in your work style. I definitely think if Mick Foley, you definitely have the Mick Foley footwork, in my opinion. You've got that, like a cannonball style almost, but also you could almost like tiptoe through a grass field without bending a blade. It just seems like you're really in control of your body. Does that make sense?
100%. I can pretty much, to be almost 300 pounds, I'm very agile. Like I can move through the air, flip, whatever somebody needs me to do or would like me to try to do, I can almost guarantee them I can do it.
Yeah.
And that just comes with being confident and knowing knowing your limitations as well,
Well, yeah, but I don't think you do, brother.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I almost feel like that's part of the brain that's cut off on you. I feel like people have a certain limitations, like you said, and no limitations in their brain. And, certain things like words for me, I feel like I have no limitations on sometimes how much I can talk. But in your case, I feel like you have so much confidence in your ability that you turn a certain part of that off. I could be wrong, though. You could be just really good and faking it.
I mean, I don't even know to be 100% with you. It could be just the confidence that doesn't like hold me back and when I fully commit to something, or it could be, I might have really good leg muscles. I don't know. It could be a combination of all of it, together.
Yeah. Well, that's whatever it is keep it up, man. So obviously we can't talk about your story without first talking about your dad. So Lee Condry, the Outlaw. I mean, what I remember of Lee was obviously that very first time that I tipped my toe in the waters of pro wrestling as far as working it. Your dad, he seemed to be in that locker room kind of different than a lot of those guys. And obviously, we're standing out in the parking lot, and I think his name was White Trash. He almost drives us over with his truck. as we're standing in the parking lot. I guess he wanted to make a parking spot wherever we were. But your dad and his tag team, they seem to carry themselves with a little more professionalism than a lot of the guys that you would see on the normal shows. And that showed. And then I met him there, obviously shook his hand with respect. And then, from then on, when we would see each other, we would always, I would always be respectful to him, of course, anytime. But anytime that I would meet him, I would always try to get a talk in with him and just see how he's doing, see how things were going, But talk about your pops, man.
Yeah, definitely the biggest influence on me coming in and doing the stuff that I do. If I don't think I would necessarily have the explosiveness or the intensity if it wasn't for watching him and studying him literally my whole childhood. But he's always been a great dad, man. Honestly, he's if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be back in wrestling right now, man. He kind of gave me that extra push to get back in it and keep he told me that I really had something with this gimmick, and he said I needed to push for it and keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's working out so far, so I got him to thank for that,
Well, hey, I mean, again, he sees something, that's awesome.
But yeah, man, back and I never really had any formal training, I mean, I did, but I didn't at the same time.
Right.
I was just at every show that he would go to, I would be there with him, and I would be in the ring beforehand. And that was from the time I was, 5 or 6 up until I started wrestling when I was 14.
Sure.
We also had a ring in the backyard, but
so you had total training, dude. You just didn't go to the school and all that,
Right. I went and bought a ring actually 2 weeks ago. I just went and got the pad for it this morning.
That's awesome.
Waiting on the lumber, and I'll be ready to set it up outside. That
is awesome, dude. Very cool. I can imagine some cool videos coming with that too, man. So.
Oh, dude, I'm about to let loose. People are probably going to see some things they never thought they'd see a 280-pound man do, but they're going to see it.
They're going to see it. I love it. Okay, so, kind of continuing a story about your pops.
Just going with him and stuff, I mean, there was a lot of times, where I didn't go, where he'd go far off, and some weekends, I'd go 3 or 4 days without seeing him. And it's like that, but I'm about to have to go through the same thing with my son, so.
Yeah.
Because history repeats itself, dude. He's just like me.
It does.
And I can see a lot of my dad in me,
Oh, well, hey, it's only logical. Obviously, I don't know your dad 1,000%, but at the same time, I feel like he's an honorable man from what I know of him and from what people speak of him, So if you carry that trait, I think everything else will figure itself out,
Right.
Yeah, I think so, Trenton, brother. Come on. So, okay, obviously, your pops, I remember he started tagging with Primetime Brian Lee, and this was probably like 2012, and we were working, and I think you had either left Porter's at this time or maybe you were still there, but your dad brings Brian Lee to NWA Main Event, and this is actually just before I was leaving, and then the eventual place shut down. But what's funny is because I was putting some of the matches together, basically Porter said, well, Jimmy, you're going to have to do it. And I was like, what? And he was like, you're going to have to book, because Charming Charles had left. Aaron Camaro had left. All these people who I was there working with left. And he was like, you're going to have to book. Well, I was like, okay, well, I'm calling Jeremiah Plunkett and Lee Condry. So Lee came in and Jeremiah Plunkett came in. And basically I wrote it on paper what they said. So every time that I say that I booked, no, I did not. Lee and Jeremiah Plunkett helped me out with that because, like I said, I knew that I could trust. And Lee was funny because then he brought in Brian Lee. And so Brian comes in the building and he walks up to me and he was like, hey, are you the money man? And I was like, no, sir. I said, I'll give you some money if you need it. Just like, don't kill me. No, I'm just kidding. But Brian Lee was super cool. Your dad was tagging with him. And he, I guess, got his money figured out with Porter, which, you know, money and Mike Porter never really lined up in my book.
money and promoters just doesn't line up.
They did well.
It used to not. It's a whole lot better than it was, I guess.
That's what I've heard. You know, Plunky's told me a little bit about that. It's a, you know, people know their worth and they get their worth now, which is good because, you know, honestly, you all work too hard to work for free. So, but at the same time, they were tagging with Brian Lee, and then that is when I am managing, you know, around the time that I am managing you now. So we're at NWA Main Event. I'm working as Omar Al-Kazan, the Sheik character. And a lot of my guys had already left. Dyron and them were already gone when you came in, right?
Yes. I think the only one that was still there was maybe Sean Fatal.
Yeah. And Cooter. I think Larry Cooter was still there. Or am I wrong about that?
I don't think he was there at that point in time.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so Sean Fatal, honestly, is a working son of a gun. He's a quick as a cat. I don't know what he's doing now. You know, hope he's well. But I know you came in, and did I just say, hey, I want to manage you? Is that how I did it?
I think what had happened, maybe I had came in the week before that.
Okay.
And had a match with I can't remember who, but somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think it was quick.
Yeah.
But or maybe it was I think it was a 6-man. Maybe it was me, my dad, and somebody else against Fatal, Plunkett, and somebody I can't quite remember, but I think that's maybe what it was.
Okay.
And after that first week, and we even clicked in the locker room, you know. Just talking, hanging out. You know?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, that's kind of the way I was in the locker room. I was just supposed to be fun in there and have a good time, you know? Right. So, but I remember seeing you in the match and I was like, holy crap, this kid's got a lot of potential. So I want to manage you. And then we end up managing each other. I don't know. I'm a little fuzzy on that, Trent, and I'm sad to say that because I wish I could remember more of that. But whatever, we worked together, and that was probably the last time we got to work together, right? I don't think we...
Yeah, I think so. I know, because I don't think I stayed at NWA too long.
Yeah, I don't think you did either, because I remember the last 2 shows I booked. Your Pops was there, Brian Lee was there. I had a bunch of dudes in there that I just put together and was like, I know these guys, I can trust them. You dipped, and which I don't blame you for that, but then, you know, I wrote it till the last days, and then I end up going to Saw, and then unfortunately we just go different ways. But what leads up to that is basically, I remember, like, you know, we said, I remember seeing a lot in you. And so I guess at that point, what I want to say is, where did you go from there? Tell your story after that.
NWA, I was probably 14, 15, 16 maybe. And I know after that, there was a show that started running in Murfreesboro. Called FWA.
Yeah.
I think, or I was there for about 2 years, and then they shut the doors on that. And then I went up to, and during that time, I think, or maybe right after that, my dad and Brian were tagging for Saw and stuff, Millersville.
Yep. They sure were.
I never worked up there, but I think after Murfreesboro, I started working for SWF in Tullahoma, and then I kind of clicked with Lee Byford, or Uncle Biff.
Yeah, I like his work too. Which is he's one of my, if not my best friend in this business, and it's funny because my dad actually shot on Byford way back in the day. Wow,
back when he was Johnny Vortex, and it was pretty bad, you know.
Yeah, it happens, right?
But it was it was some misunderstandings and stuff. They've talked about it here recently. They you know, water under the bridge, everybody's cool, but it's kind of funny how things play out, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Which when the first time Byford asked me to ride with him, you know, my dad was kind of sketchy on it, but I mean, you know, that's some chances you got to take. You know, he very well could have taken me out to nowhere land and just beat me up and left me there, trying to take liberties for what had happened in the past. But he didn't, man. He took me under his wing for a little bit and taught me pulled more of the monster out of me, more of the hollering, more of the vocals, facial expressions.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because he seems to be, he almost gives me the vibe of that classic wrestler, the French Angel. Do you know who I'm talking about? He's got that, like, not to say he looks like a monster, but he could be a monster. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Biff. He came along a little bit after I was already gone from the Middle Tennessee area. But, man, I'm impressed by his work. I really am, for sure.
Definitely, man. It's character work. There's back when he was doing he used to go by the Human Snuff film back when he was doing like his dark character, man. There's nothing. I mean, what he's doing now is good too, but dude, you take him back to that's prime Biff right there.
Yeah.
But I went and rode with him a little bit, and we tagged for a minute, and then my son was born, and this was 2018.
Okay.
At the end of 2017, my son was born, and then 2018, January, I tried to come back because I took a month off, for him. Tried to come back, and I started having real bad anxiety attacks, panic attacks.
Yeah.
Never had them before in my life, but that's what took me out for like 4 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, well, talk about that.
Okay. So going back, it was like the Thursday before a show. I had just gotten home from, I think maybe work. And I sat down and I thought I was having a heart attack or a stroke. Left side of my body went numb, drenched in sweat, didn't know what it was. Got an ambulance to come get me. Wow. I went to the hospital, EKG, heart's fine, They tell me it's panic, it's stress. So I'm like, whatever, that's fine. They give me some like hydroxyzine or some type of medicine to kind of calm me down. I try to go back. I get to the show on Friday, like the following Friday.
Yeah.
Right before my music hits, man, panic attacks. And I just have to suffer through it. I go out there, have a really crappy, like 5-6 minute match, with a dude named Austin Wright. Austin Wright is a heck of a worker. He's my age. He's another young one from my area that his work is really crisp.
That's awesome.
But I couldn't shake the panic or anxiety, even, with medicine, different types of medicines. So I was like, well, heck, I said, I'm going to have to step away for at least for a little bit, try to figure some stuff out.
Yeah.
Stayed away for 4 years. Got fat, real fat, didn't do nothing. Got up to like 320 pounds. And that was in this past January. And I'm down to 265 now.
Hey, brother, that's awesome. Good for you.
I came back hotter than ever. I put literally everything I've got into this character and into what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, let's stop right there, man, because that's where I want to go. But I'm going to do that. We'll do that after a break. So we'll be right back with more from Cousin Condry on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, a holiday you're saving.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. This season, enjoy spacious, comfortable rooms and friendly service when you book with Hilton instead. Hilton for the stay.
Say hello to the all-new Alexa Plus and see how Alexa can do so much more for you. Need tickets to see your favorite artist? Craving your comfort restaurant? Just sit back, relax, and talk naturally. Alexa's on it. It learns your style, anticipates what's next, and makes it happen across Echo, Fire TV, and more. Learn more at Amazon.com/new Alexa.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Sheik, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all. And all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other toppings, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back in Disney's Freakier Friday, now streaming on Disney+.
We switched bodies. I am freaking out right now. I think I just peed a little.
It's an absolute riot. And the only movie that can be described as
so much weirder than the last time. What last time?
It's the frequel.
You ready?
We've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
Disney's Freakier Friday, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG.
All right, we're back with Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. And once again, we have the very special guest, Cousin Condry, on. And you were leading me to it, and I wanted to take a break because this was the piece de resistance, as they say in Montreal, I think. Whatever. Cousin Condry, the creation of that. Tell me all about that. I've got to hear about Cousin Condry and the creation.
Absolutely. So Cousin, the name actually started before I took my hiatus.
Okay.
The character itself, not so much. I'll get into that. The name, though, Cousin Condry, came, obviously, my dad used Condry, so I was going to use it as well.
Yeah.
But where Lee Byford or Uncle Biff used to use the uncle character we were tagging, I just said, to heck with it, I'm going to go as Cousin Condry. That's kind of how the name kind of came and stuck. As I took my time off, I sat and I watched more. I told you earlier how I never watched wrestling on TV when I was younger, just because I was always at shows and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when I took my time off, that's all I did was watch wrestling on TV. Went back, watched older wrestling, some old Nick Bockwinkel, Ricky Morton.
Oh, yeah.
Everything, dude. Like, I'm talking old NWA Classic, all wrestling that I could find, I would watch. That's how I spent my days. So I really got that itch, and I would sit down just and think of things, like what would be a cool character. I came up with different characters. Like one was a rock and roll Jesus type character. I had the long hair. I was going to do the all white and come out and do like a Church of Condry type deal. And I was like, no, that would be cool, but that's not what I'm going for,
Yeah,
and then an idea would fade. Well, I went back to, I was like, well, let me just stick with what I know for now. And then if something comes, it'll come.
Right.
So I said, all right, I'm going to come back as Cousin. I used to do like the eye makeup, darken my eyes. Well, I can't do that real well. So I was like, nah, I guess that's one less creepy thing that I have. I need to substitute that with something else.
Okay.
Well, I was, there's this little like antique shop down the road from my house, and I was walking around in it and found this old piece of beat up burlap and a rope like right beside it. And I said, that kind of looks creepy if I was to just throw that over my head, it kind of looked like an original version of like Jason Voorhees or something,
Oh, yeah.
So I started watching, I bought it and I went back and I watched some old Friday the 13th and Michael Myers movies, just some old slasher films, and kind of pulled something, not from each character, but like I tried to pull their mannerisms together and see what made them stand out and what made them creepy and what made you want to run away from them when you see them,
Yeah.
And I kept the Cousin name because, you go mess with somebody in the woods and they say they're going to get their cousin, you ain't going to stick around,
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I did that and I came up I started wearing the burlap sack, and then I said, well, you know what? I said, maybe I can get a little bit more creative. I said, I'm going to look up online, see if I can make my own mask. So I learned how to make like a mask template just by hand stitching it and cutting out like fabrics and using like starch to hold everything in place. And I eventually got it to where I could work burlap onto it and paint it and soup it up, you know, leather straps. I kind of, it was more of a learn as you go process.
Yeah.
Like I've got about 7 or 8 different Cousin Condry masks, and each one looks better than the last. They're all evolved.
Yeah. So, okay, that's part of my question here, and I'm going to tie this together. Now, you're coming out of this, I mean, as you say, debilitating anxiety to where now you're coming back with the same abilities, but now you have this mask. Do you feel like those are related at all?
Yeah, I think so, because and I also got on some I'm on some decent medicine now. They found me some stuff that kind of,
that's good. Yeah.
You know, it keeps me evened out. Because I'm real to be as big as I am, I have a high metabolism. I've got really high energy, and I think that plays a lot into it as well. But coming through the curtain, but especially if you haven't done it in a while and you don't know how the people are going to take to you, you don't know if you're going to go through there, holler, you know, try to get the people up, and they're just going to be dead quiet and look at you like you're stupid.
Right.
But with that mask on, it kind of pulls, even when it was just the sack, you know.
Yeah.
And there's no detail to it. When I walked out there, I could tell that was something for their eyes to grasp onto. So even if they're not, you know, being loud or making noise, I can see what they're doing, and they're looking at my face and my eyes, and they're creeped out. That's
for sure. Yeah.
Because, I mean, you think about it too, in some horror movies, they'll see the killer. Sometimes they'll scream. There's also times where they'll see him and not make a word. They're frozen in fear. And, you know, either way, you got to make a negative into a positive. And that's how I kind of look at, if I can get a room full of people to just gasp at my mask or at me hollering when I come out there, I think I'm doing something all right.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, I don't know, man, it's got vibes of, like you said, I love the idea of I can go grab my cousin, I'll be right back, because I know everybody has that cool cousin. Everybody has that crazy cousin that might have cut the wings off flies back when they were a kid, you know? So the open-ended element of I'm going to get my cousin and then putting this mask involved with it, which honestly, dude, there has to be a more comfortable substance to wear than burlap. But I love that idea and the look. I mean,
man, luckily I've got a cousin is about to permanently be in a mask. Like he's going to be a mask character.
Okay. I love it.
So usually I don't work in the mask. I'll just wear it to the ring, you know, take it off.
Right.
But, cause that burlap is heavy and it's hot.
I bet, man. I bet you got some modifications happening to it.
Yep. I've got somebody, making me a mask as we speak right now that I'll be able to work in. They'll have a decent chin strap. It's not going to be too heavy.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, I was on the fence about it, but because man, my facial expression sell. That's one of my
for sure.
One of my selling points, man, is my facials in the ring, either while I'm selling or while I'm trying to do damage on somebody, putting in the work. I think that's one of the things that makes me stand out. But I also think that I can still get that through with the mask on.
Oh, I think you can too, brother. I mean, dude, you know this business and you know how to do that. I mean, that's telling a story is not going to be the issue, but I'm sure it will be an adjustment for you, but I think you'll handle it. Okay, so we've talked about, you know, the idea of the Cousin Condry character and the mask, and obviously the inspiration elements of possibly Mankind, with also tied in with Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, the classic slasher monster dudes. There's also an element of the classic Batman villain Scarecrow to it as well, and you know the fear that he, you know, uses as his quote unquote superpower. You know what I'm saying? So
funny you brought that up, because when I first started with the burlap sack, I got a lot of comparisons to Scarecrow. So I started using, you know how I used to like blow the dust in people's face?
Oh, yeah.
I would take like red sidewalk chalk and crush it up into a powder, or green or whatever funky color would look cool. And pull it out and use it as a finish, you know, blow it into the opponent's face or something. It's a little bit different than just using baby powder, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Right now, the current status of Cousin Condry, I've seen you're working everywhere, man. We were trying to set up this interview and you sent me a list, and I mean, you've got some time off, maybe a couple days here and there, but you're going to be even down in my neck of the woods. But here recently, I've seen you wrestling at School of Morton, man. How's that going?
School of Morton is awesome, dude. The exposure you get from somewhere as prominent as school, I mean, you got a WWE Hall of Famer's name on the building, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You don't. It's been really cool down there, man. They're pushing me real good. I've had some killer matches with people down there, like with people, dude named Yellow Man, Rick Reeves, Tyler Foshi, a bunch of solid young cats that are really good, and I think they're going to be somewhere in this business one day.
That's awesome. So that's kind of my other question is, what are the current promotions that you're currently working for right now? Shout them out for us.
Oh, let's see. I got a list.
It's always good to have a list.
Man, Fridays are usually at SWF in Tullahoma, 106 Southside Drive. Saturdays vary a whole lot. Like I'll be at like I said, some things I can't really say, but sometimes RWF in Gallatin, not really going back to TAP, but it's close to home.
Sure.
Cool. Where else? I'll tell you some locations I'll be going. I'll be going to New York City, New York.
That's amazing. And I almost want to guess, but I won't throw that away. So go ahead.
Orlando, Florida, some cool places like that, you know.
That's amazing, dude. And you're going to be down in my neck of the woods in Charlotte, North Carolina. We got to figure out a way I got to come see that, man.
Oh, definitely. Elevation Pro Wrestling. Check it out when you're up there. It's going to be cool. They got a nice setup down there. It'll be my first time up there, but I've seen pictures. I think they got a really cool setup.
Oh, I'm sure they do, you know. And is that kind of your plans for 2023 is just to keep, you know, obviously 2022 is kind of not necessarily wrapping up immediately here, but in the next few months, but then on into 2023, is it just basically to continue being a road dog, essentially?
I think so. I'll be honest with you. And when I came back this year, I never thought that I didn't think that I would be nowhere near as far or do half of the stuff that I've done since I've been back. So 2023 could hold a lot of things. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep sending tapes and stuff out, and I'm going to keep posting on social media, and hopefully people will see Cousin on there. Not just their local TV network. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. And I love it. I think I'm excited for that for myself. So, you know, so we kind of figured out plans for 2023. Who are some of the people that you want to work with? And I mean, aim high, brother. Who are some of the people that are on your bucket list? Let's just say.
The one person I would want to work, just because I know they would hit me before they retired or before I hope I can make it to this level or somewhere, or maybe he's not at that level by this time, but Gunther or Walter. Dude, he could beat the hell out of me for 45 minutes if he wanted to. I'm telling you, man, I don't think there's anybody that has the same intensity as he has at this current point in time.
I agree, man. That match, he made Sheamus, dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of people are saying Sheamus and he, but honestly, Sheamus hadn't really had ever a match that I even think of in my mind. But I feel like that show there, they really had a heck of a match, and you got to give that to Walter, Gunther, whatever. You got to give that to him, because Sheamus had kind of been in this fair to Midland role, and now they're talking about him having the match of the night. Can you imagine?
Man, it really, when he's in there, it really looks like he's trying to hurt somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not a lot of people can portray that anymore. Another one that I would like to, just on their work alone, he's a real young cat, but Nick Wayne's real good. I'd like to work him.
Oh yeah, Wolfie produced his match at the Ric Flair's last match. He had he spoke highly of him for sure. So
yeah, Nick Wayne's real good. Another one that I think would be a cool match is probably Jeff Cobb.
Oh yeah, slobber knocker.
Dude, Keith Lee would be cool. Another big dude.
Yeah. I like where you're thinking, man. I like where you're thinking.
Sammy Callahan would be another cool one. I just want to go against some people that are some hard hitters, man. That aren't afraid to hold back, and that'll hit you because they know they're probably going to get hit as well.
Yes. There's a level of snug that is acceptable, is what you're saying.
Right. Hit me hard. If you can hit me safe, hit me as hard as you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kerry Awful, he always said, hit me hard and in the pocket.
Yeah. Well, one time at Main Event, I was managing Seven. I was up on the apron and I was doing an Iggy, and then basically Drew Haskins ducks and Seven hits me with the flying elbow, essentially. And I was like, Seven, I thought we were friends, brother. And, he kind of had that monstrous beast-like character. And I think he really felt like, because, one thing that I've learned is the closer you are to the fans or the smaller the crowd, and to maintain, truth to it or believability in a sense, you really have to play snug, man. You really have to.
Yeah, definitely. I had I don't know if you know who Brad Cash is.
I know of him, yeah.
We had it was a little hardcore match Saturday, and man, we was out there, and it wasn't a whole lot of people. There was a show that ran on Friday the night before, the same building. So usually Saturday the next night don't draw too well in the same town.
Sure,
but
sure.
We was still in there, and we was right in the middle of the crowd beating the hell out of each other, man. Talking about Sabu, and he Sabu'd me with a chair. I'm pretty sure I got a concussion.
Oh man.
Dude, Germex and gig spots on the forehead, it was, I mean, it wasn't like no death match or anything, but it was a little brutal, for there to be 35, 40 people there.
Yeah.
You're listening to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, and we'll be right back after these messages.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee.
Finish your fantasy lineup?
No, but I'm joining this paid group chat with insider info.
Dude, seriously? Forward it to me. Security alert from McAfee. That group's as legit as that knockoff jersey you're wearing.
McAfee's scam detector is available in all McAfee plans for as little as $39.99 for your first year. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
In Walmart's Newville, time was ticking away. Only a few nights left till the big holiday. But last-minute gifters had no need to worry. Walmart Express Delivery got their gifts in a hurry. From Nintendo to Nespresso and Lego Flowers, they could check off their lists in as fast as an hour. All of Newville, East, West, South, and North, could order gifts up until 5 p.m. on December 24th. So this holiday, just do as the Who's do. With gift delivery this fast, they all gasped. From Walmart? Who knew? Subject to availability, terms and fees apply.
Gideon's Warriors, a night of pro wrestling stories and testimony of God's grace and mercy. Come hear Pastor Rick Reynolds, who you may know as Damien or Forsaken. Shane Morton, Ben Jordan, and Tommy Phillips, aka Sean Schultz, as they share their experiences in pro wrestling and their personal walks with God. It's all going to be on Sunday, January 18th, 2026 at 7 p.m. at His House Ministries, 4909 Highway 43, Summertown, Tennessee. Everyone is welcome. Do not miss this one-time event.
Hey, this is Pastor Rick Reynolds of His House Ministries in Summertown, Tennessee. I'd like to do a personal invitation to everyone to come see us on January 18th, 2026 at 7 o'clock.
So, you spoke about Brad Cash here, but talk about who do you see on the scene right now that's really impressing you?
That's really impressing me right now.
Yeah.
I would have to say, and man, it's just as simple as I'll give you two answers. One is Austin Wright, just because I don't think he gets enough exposure, man. He hasn't gotten enough like the right chances, you know what I mean? Because his work is crisp, man. I can't say that enough, dude. Another that I'm real thoroughly impressed with is there's a lot of these old timers coming back, man, that are showing that they can still hang with some of these young kids,
Oh yeah,
and that's what I'm impressed with, Kevin the Thug Jones, my dad.
Oh yeah,
who else? Sharp Dress Man Lawrence's former partner, Frankie Lane, I think is his name.
Okay, I know Frankie. Yeah, absolutely.
He came back and I'm talking about that these guys are still hanging.
That's awesome.
I gotta give props to them.
I'm all for that. The OGs, that's the important ones. Those are the guys I know and was in the locker room with, and they were in it before I was, so that makes me feel good because I got a little gray on the ball field, man. I'm a little,
Don't let that stop you, man. My dad does too, and I seen him doing drop downs, leapfrogs, arm drags.
Yeah,
running spots of just a few weeks ago. So don't let that stop you.
Yeah, the Outlaw's a different breed, though.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we've talked a lot about wrestling. Obviously, we've seen your career from very young to now. So outside of wrestling, what are you into? I know you got a family. I know you're a family man. But at the same time, what do you like to do in your off time? Like, what kind of music do you like? What kind of movies do you watch? That kind of stuff.
I don't really watch any TV here recently, but I listen to just about any type of music, anything that's gonna, get my toe tapping, or it could be anything.
Sure.
As far as like hobbies go, man, when I say that every aside from spending time with my son, or we'll go to Chuck E. Cheese or something. Aside from spending time with the wife and son, it is 100% wrestling.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Outside working, running, working on cartwheels, doing rolls on the ground. I got a ring set up. Well, it'll be set up probably tomorrow, but so now I'm probably going to be in it every day of the week aside from on Sundays. Well, no,
yeah,
we got School of Morton on Sundays, so
that's awesome. That's
probably. Monday's like my Sunday, that's my pretty much my off day.
Your decompressed day. So how old's your son, man?
He will be 5 in December.
Wow, that's awesome. What's his name if you don't?
Bradley.
Bradley, shout out, buddy. Remember that we talked about you early, brother.
And he's to be 4 years old, he can already lock up, snatch the arm, work it.
Oh, I know. I have no doubt. He's already prepared. Yeah, because as young as you got it, it's just inevitable, right? So,
oh, dude, I can't. It's hard keeping him away.
Yeah. So, Brad, that's cool. I'm happy that you've got that part of your life too, because that grounds you, especially because if we were to be left to our own devices, we would just think wrestling 100 million times a day. And, even being in it as far as just podcasting now, I still focus so much time and effort on the business, just to kind of try to stay on top of things, even if it's just stupid news about certain organizations and all that stuff. But I guess when you get your decompressed time with your son and you focus on him and stuff, do you feel like the medicine you said, I know that, but do you feel like you got your anxiety licked now as far as everything goes?
Yeah and no. Man, I feel like my brain's kind of like wired different at times because I think about so many things at one time. This might seem weird, but like I can be doing something or have like something else going on at the same time. So it's kind of hard to, even while I'm playing with him or something, or still talking or hanging out with my wife, or I've still got stuff rolling in the back of my mind, like, hey, what can I do, or how can I do this, or what do I need to do today to look like this whenever showtime comes, or it's literally so much that I'm at the point to where I don't know. I feel like I understand on how to get to where I need to be. And I know that's going to take like a lot of sacrifices, and my family knows that as well. But they, at the same time, I'm grateful that I have them, because I could honestly not ask for a better support group, dude. They support me 100%, no matter where I go or what I'm doing. Just because they know that's what I love to do, and they know that's what's gonna push us further in life, if I can stick with it. And at least that's what, at least I believe that, and she believes that. And that's all I can ask for.
Yeah, brother, dude, you got to have that support system, and having that support system, honestly, if you talk to successful people, they either came out of nothing or they had an incredible support system. And, as long as everybody's got the same eyes on the prize, and, you've got somebody at your back, that's, a ride or die, that's all you can ask for. And honestly, just about all you need when it comes to it, so I'm happy for you on that level, man. I'm really glad that you've got that figured out. I know I appreciate it. Yeah, dude, a daily process to keep everything figured out, but hey, it's what we are. We're men, right? So let me ask you this, man. So I know I saw something on there that you're going to have some slam buddies, some Cousin Condry slam buddies soon.
Technically my first, type of merch that's going to be released, but yeah, they're going to remember the old school like Randy Savage and
yes,
Macho,
had
Hogan, the stuffed dolls. That's kind of like what they are. I think they're about a foot taller. So
it's great, man. I can just see Brad kicking your butt, though.
Oh man, he already does that. He don't need to slam. As long as I'm up on 2 feet, he's swinging for me.
Yeah, he doesn't need a slam buddy. He's got slam daddy, right? So
100%.
So that's your first piece of merch. So is that something you're going to start focusing on, or do you want to keep the monster heel element going and not worry as much about that?
I'll be honest with you, it's hard to be a heel, and I'm man. I don't know if it's because people are more sadistic, but and I'm being 100%. I went out there. It was maybe last Saturday, and I pointed at a small kid and I said, "Hey," because the people were cheering for me. I said, "Hey, if y'all don't shut the hell up, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to take it out on this kid." Kids started getting teary-eyed. The rest of the crowd cheered.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know, man. I've got fans far and wide. I've got about 3/4 of my slam buddies that I've got so far already pre-ordered, and they'll be out as soon as they come in.
That's awesome. Well, of course, you'll have social media presence, which actually, go ahead and tell everybody your socials, brother.
Social media is Cousin Condry on Facebook, Cousin Condry on TikTok, Condry Cousin on Twitter, and Cousin Condry on Instagram. It's all simple.
Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. That's how I like to do it. We have GMBMPW on all those, and I wanted to, some people are like, well, why didn't you spell it out? And it's like, give me back my pro wrestling is a really long thing to type in.
Yeah.
So GMBMPW. And I was, when Wolfie and I named the Wolfie D show Live and in Color, he of course named it, but I was like thinking of something short, like the Wolfie D show or whatever. But he was like, how about, and I'm like, dude, I'm thinking of typing all that in all the time. So when it comes down to it, you know, the one thing that I do like is that everything we have is the same. Live Wolfie D, GMBMPW. I like that about yours too. If you type in Cousin Condry, you're gonna find Cousin Condry, right? I mean,
right. It's a brand, man. It's you're an independent wrestler is a business.
Yeah,
you're not. I mean, yeah, the shows you work for, they're businesses as well, but you're also selling a product or a service, and you got to treat it that way. You know, what have you got to offer, and how is your reach? You know,
right.
You know, the more people that know about you, the more people that are liable to come watch you at the show, then that's more tickets being sold. That makes everybody happy.
Yeah. And then it turns into you getting to do this longer. And that is exactly where you need to be. Trenton, you know, having you on the show today has been one of the funnest times because, like I said, I feel like I've known you for a really long, I mean, I have known you, but I feel like we've been friends for a long time. And even though, you know, we haven't,
I agree.
Yeah, man. I mean, we haven't lived in the same town in a while. And we didn't really get to hang out a lot back in the day, but I just know that I feel like we had a bond from the start, even though you were this little kid trying to kneecap me at 10 years old.
Well, I think it also goes, people know, people can read when they see somebody else that has respect for the business, you know, and that goes a long way. I think in general, you know, being a brother in wrestling, you know.
Oh, definitely. I appreciate you saying that. The one thing I will say is I kind of compare you to, I remember I managed a guy against Ricky Morton, and Kerry was on the outside doing similar stuff, but you were even younger and had a baseball bat. So.
That would be one match that I would like before my dad hangs it up.
Yes.
If I could find somebody to book Kerry and Ricky against me and my dad, that would be awesome.
That would be an incredible match, seriously, because I think you would work well with Ricky. Obviously, your dad and Ricky could work with their eyes closed, but I think you would work good with Ricky. I think your dad would work good with Kerry, and then I would love to see an inevitable long-time feud with you and Kerry. My God, that would be incredible. So
that would be awesome. And he can go too, which he's been around it. You know, I was watching a Ricky Morton shoot interview the other day, and Kerry was on there, literally 9 years old. So
yeah, exactly. He's been around it like you, and the only thing is I think he went to some kind of acting school for a little while, but you know that makes total sense. Ricky was trying to take care of that element. I'm a longtime Ricky Morton fan. The podcast listeners here will know, but I am also a longtime Cousin Condry fan too. So Trenton, you know, I thank you so much for coming on the show today, man. We'll have you back sometime soon, especially if you want to promote some upcoming stuff. But I
appreciate you having me.
Oh man, I gotta ask you this though. Don't forget me when you're big time, okay?
Oh, 100%, man.
All right.
I might need to give Omar a call whenever I get there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if Omar is around, we'll see. He's been laying over in the desert with his camels and his wives, so
right.
He might be getting fat. But we'll shake him out of something, shave him up, and get him going. Okay.
Right.
Everybody, go find Cousin Condry in your area. If he's not there yet, he will be soon. Do yourself a favor. Watch this kid. He is definitely one of the best that I know personally and one of the brightest future stars. So honestly, don't sleep on Cousin Condry. You know, this kid's going to do something big, and I can't wait to see it. So once again, for Cousin Condry, I'm Jimmy Street. This has been Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. We'll be right back after these messages.
Listen up, you bunch of slack-jawed flea market freeloaders. If you think you know Memphis wrestling, you don't know nothing till you've heard the Retro Wrestling Review podcast, brother. Every week they're talking the real stuff. Lawler Jarrett, PG-13, yeah, and even my Moondogs. Watch long stories from the road, interviews with folks who were in the thick of it, brother. The blood, the beer, and the bail money. It's all on the Wrestlecopia Podcast Network. Go to uswapodcast.com or I'll come down there and I'll slap the taste out of your mouth.
The moondogs are howling, the moondogs are howling, the moondogs are vicious and mean.
Tonight the moondogs are looking for trouble, and you can hear it in their scream. So stay out of the swamp, 'cause the full moon is shining big and bright, and you might run into a moondog and meet your blinking eye.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jimmy Street, and that was episode 30 of the Best of James Rock Street Productions, with the first half of episode 17 of Cousin Condry on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. I've known Trenton since he was a teenager, and honestly, his future is so bright, we should all be wearing shades. Can't wait to see what's in store for old Cuz. You can hear the full episode and more over on @GMBMPW or Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, wherever you listen to podcasts, or simply click the link in the notes below. We hope you've enjoyed a look back in the archives of James Rock Street Productions. Check us out next week to see what else we have in store. Until then, follow @GMBMPW and @JamesRockStreet everywhere. Peace.
With a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life.
We'll see you later.
This has been a James Rock Street production.